Okay, so we're gonna do some stuff with the big ball. Grab your Thera-band and your purple balls and put them like mid-mat maybe, so that you can reach those. And then we're gonna start on the ball. Okay, these are the 65-inch ball. If you're real tall, you may need it to be bigger. If you're real short, you may need it smaller. Okay, you can start by just bearing a little skin in your low back. That's what's gonna stick to your ball. Okay, and then instead of sitting on your ball, you can start by sitting on it and then come to the front of it. If that seems too hard to stabilize, and then you're gonna come hips to the floor. If that's too hard, you can just sit on the floor, expose that skin in your low back, touch it to the ball, and then lean back on your ball. Use your hands to support you. Walk your feet back. You can do this anyway once you're there. Walk your feet back, pushing into your ball. Put your hips down so your sitting bones touch the mat, and you feel like you're trapped between your ball and the mat. Feel that? So it should be pushing your pelvic bowl forward. You should not be on your tailbone with all this space here between you and the ball. You should be on your sitting bone, which is why it's really low back that needs to stick it to the ball. Got that? Okay. Feet as wide as your mat. Assuming that your ball is in the middle of your mat, you're going to be as wide. If you're off center, then just adjust your feet accordingly. Right? Then we're going to bring elbows inside the knees, hands into prayer. Make sure you're one straight line from elbow to elbow. As you bring your hands down into your prayer, that should push knees open, just coming elbow to elbow wide. Okay? If you've got a really deep stretch and you can come down past 90 degrees with the wrist, just try to keep it at 90. Okay? That should help open your knees for you. Let's activate the feet to start and activate your hands. So really spread metacarpals and fingers. Really try to spread across the toes. Feel your ball of your foot and your heel on the mat with equal pressure. Heels should be as wide as toes. Okay, so try to have the feet in parallel. Okay. Once you got the hands lodged inside the knees, very softly roll to inner foot and try to squeeze knees in on elbows. If your hands are in one straight line, you shouldn't have to push back out against the knees. You should have the bones and forearm lined up so that you just pull in or you just squeeze in on them. And they automatically repel the knees. Okay? Low belly sucking back into the ball. Tailbone won't be able to round under. And then just let that go. Let's do that again. Knees squeezing on elbows. Outer foot lifting. Pinky side of the foot tries to lift. Keeping big toe down. Keeping big toe down. There we go. It's a different thing. And then low belly sucks back. Ball of the foot. Very softly scooping the mat forward to help you pull low belly back. Good. Feel the low belly. Transverse abs too. Okay, and then let's roll shoulders back. Let your ribs open a little bit, the front ribs, but keep your low belly lifted into the ball. Inhale. As you exhale, drop your chin to your chest first, then ribs drop into the back body. Don't close front ribs hard. Start pulling middle belly, transverse abdominals between rib cage and pelvis. Slide elbows inside the knees. Think of your rib cage going up and over the transverse abdominals so that the round in the spine is more in your middle back. Shoulders roll forward. Think of closing the collarbone in on itself, like closing a book. Drop your head, let it legitimately hang. Roll the knees in, inner feet in, outer feet lifting. Low belly just barely lifting out of your way. Let your head drop a little deeper. Start your breath here. Inhale. Exhale, keep trying to drop head forward, shoulders rolling forward, knees softly squeeze in on your upper body. Lift your low belly, middle abs very softly out of the way, let your back drape over that. And then start rolling back up, low belly lifts, then middle abs, then the abs in front of ribs, and then you start rolling back over the ball. Let your chest drop back, shoulders roll into your ball. Prayer can come out of the legs. Inhaling. Exhale, chin to your chest first. Ribs drop back soft. Middle abs pull mostly feet. Push elbows inside the knees. Sliding down the groin, rounding the upper body. Drop your head. Once you're in there, bring your shoulders forward. Slide your shoulder blades up the side of the ribs to make space in the back body. Dropping the head. So go ahead and interlace the fingers behind the head. Slide your hands up toward the top of the head. Elbows are hanging in and down. Elbows are reaching a little forward and down. Very softly pulling the back of the head to the floor. And then suck your middle abs. A little bit of low belly back. Use feet pushing down a little to help support that. Roll to your inner foot. Feel middle outer foot, let your knees open more, keep dropping head. Roll to inner foot, hold, inhale. As you exhale, roll to outer foot, keep letting elbows reach forward and down, so shoulder blades come forward and down, shin is in, head is dropping. Hands are very near the crown of the head, but still in the back. You're going to roll up slowly, soft pressure in feet, lifting low belly, then middle abs, then upper abs, and then lay back over your ball. Good, let's put a little bit of soft pressure in feet to roll back on top of your ball. Good, once you're laying back over the ball, try to go all the way to straighter legs, let your hips release. And then come back forward, bend the knees, hips are in contact with the ball, rolling forward. Good, and then hips touch the ground. Then bring chin to the chest, ribs softly come into the back body, middle abs pulling back. Middle abs are mostly what's drawing. Then think of your ribs coming a little bit long as you come forward. Elbows reaching forward and down. Soft pressure in the feet to keep the low belly lifted as you come up and over that. Inhale. As you exhale, low belly lifts just soft, roll to inner feet, knees squeeze in our body, low belly pulling out of the way so back can drape over core. And then roll to outer feet, let the knees open more. Lift your low belly, roll all the way up nice and slow, then middle abs lift. Good. Deep core muscles, rolling the vertebrae up, back does not pull. Lay back over your ball, soft pressure in your feet, right away hips come to ball. Don't pick the tailbone up and squeeze your glutes. Let your hips drop to your ball. Lay all the way back over the ball. Good. If your feet release off the ground, you know they're real soft and not engaged. Your toes, I should say. Let's turn the feet out to the sides. Bend your knees just a little bit, keeping hips in contact with your ball. Don't lift tail. And then just use elbows coming into your peripheral vision. And hands pull your head up. And it's serratus, the muscles under the armpits that are pulling your shoulder blades down the body into the ball and bring your head up like that. Okay, then start pulling middle abs in. Don't even close ribs out hard. You're going to keep enough pressure in the feet to not fall forward, but that's it. And then try to round into yourself. Middle abs, suck your middle back into the ball. Constant pressure in feet, not to push you away, just keep you from falling forward. Keep rounding forward, chin in. It's almost like the back of the neck's trying to stay long, back of the ribs trying to open. And then roll back over your ball. Let your head and hips drape over the ball at the same time, ribs open more. Good, and then see if you can roll a little further back. Let the legs release, let the hips release. You should feel nothing in your low back. Okay, start coming forward by bending the knees. Hips stay in contact with the ball, spine is supported by the ball, hips touch the ground. When your sitting bones touch, not tailbone, it should be sitting bones. Use the strength in arms and serratus to bring the head up. Shin dropping in, neck is still heavy and back in the hands. And pull middle abs in. Start rounding forward. All the way over between the legs. Drop the shoulders. And turn feet into parallel unless you're finding more space with feet open. It will open front of the hips more, but not back. Breathe. As you exhale, little lift in low belly. And then keep rounding a little further forward. One more breath here. Little pressure in the feet, low belly lifting, middle abs lifting, rolling up. Lay back over your ball again. Soft pressure in feet is enough to roll you on top of the ball. So don't think tuck tail. Don't think you have to lift your hips. You don't. The ball lifts your hips up as you roll back. You guys feeling this? Yeah. Nothing in low backs. Yeah. Let the feet release, hips release. Good. Okay. Go ahead and bend the knees just a little bit. Bring it back forward. Just a little. Hips should still be fully supported on the ball. Then elbows in your peripheral vision. Hands pulling head brings your chin up. Let your ribs stay open. Don't use core yet. And middle abs start to draw middle back into the ball and start rounding forward. Think of rounding into yourself just like we do when you're forward. When you're on the mat, low belly drawing in, elbows coming forward. You can even roll up your ball a little by pushing the feet to round more. And then roll back over the ball nice and soft. Let your core release. Good. Heels widen out, toes in a little. Slowly bring it down. Try to get the sitting bones to touch the mat as close to the ball as you can. And then once you're there, hands pulling head, brings chin to the chest. Middle abs draw back. Keep soft, little bit of pressure in the feet, the balls of the foot too. And rounding forward, low back staying with the ball. Shoulders slide forward, elbows reach forward and down. Don't close ribs hard. Feel middle abs and low belly. Knees very softly close in on your body like you're a human block between the legs. Once you feel that little tiny bit of pressure, I mean tiny, then middle abs lift back. Like the knees are helping wrap the back body around the front body. Back and side body. Keep head dropping. Legitimately let your head hang here. Don't hold with your neck. Breathe. As you exhale, roll to the outer feet. Low belly stays a little lifted. Elbows softly reach forward and down. Softly pulling on head. Core should feel like it's rounding. Middle abs and low belly should feel like they're helping round the back by supporting it as you hang forward off of it. Slowly start to roll up. Start by opening knees, lifting low belly. Little pressure in feet, then middle abs. Pull the middle back to the ball. And upper abs. And then lay over the ball. Little bit of pressure in the feet to come back. Good. You can go all the way to straight legs, releasing your hips. Let the toes lift. Good. Let's go ahead and reach the arms overhead. Make sure I'm in the camera shot here so you can still see my hands. When your arms are overhead, let the hands touch in prayer. Reach through the thumb side of the hand especially. Pinky reaching for the ceiling, thumbs reaching as far away as they can. Feel that length in your core. Reach through the big toe too, even if it's in the air. Good. And then release. Let everything go. Roll the arms out to the sides. All the way. Let them rest open. Maybe the hands touch the floor. Maybe you're just resting. You're stretching. Your shoulder stretch won't let you touch the floor. Inhale. Back should be totally released. If you can't release, bend the knees a little. And then as you exhale, bring your arms back overhead. Low belly draws a little bit. Bring the arms up to the ceiling. Chin down, neck longer when arms get up. So try to flatten the back of the neck on the ball more. Start rolling forward. Feet can stay turned out. Tailbone stays against the ball. No tucking. Try to bring your hips to the ground as close to the ball as you can. Palms are still up to the ceiling. Don't lift your head. Do it again. This time take your arms back. Put a soft bend in your elbows. Let your ribs open, but keep your low belly lifted. Soft pressure in the feet will help with that. And then roll back, keeping your hips connected with the ball. As far back as you can go. Good. Roll the hands out to the sides. Shoulder heads roll all the way forward. Palms face down. And then roll all the way back. Just rolling through the shoulder girdle. Good. One more like that. Inhale as you open out to the sides. Exhale as the shoulders roll forward, ribs drop a little. Inhale, bring the arms back overhead, get long, reach through thumbs. Exhale, open arms, roll the shoulders forward. Inhale, reach it back up. Good, hands come back to the head. Right where the head starts rounding from back of the head toward the crown. Use the elbows in your peripheral vision. The serratus help you bring the head up. Still feeling shoulder blades into the mat. You're stuck under my ball. And then start using middle abs. See if you can keep legs a little bit straighter and not lose your grip on the mat. So try not to bend the knees too much. Use middle abs to come up. Shin in, rounding the spine. Suck the belly down. Once you're all the way up as high as you can get, slide your shoulder blades forward off the ball. Maybe you need to bend your knees a little bit. Keep middle abs sucking back. Keep your grip on the floor or your mat. You use with straight legs or bent straight legs a little harder. And then roll all the way back. Let hips drop. As you drop, head back, ribs open. Reach the arms back. Bend the knees, come all the way down to your neck. Good. Once you get there, hands come to the top of the head. Just pull the head up. Chin in, belly in. And then round forward. You can let the hands drop inside the legs. How are we doing? Okay. Bring elbows to groin. Pushing out on your own groin with elbows. Try to draw shoulders a little further forward. back up. Let's turn feet back into parallel, walk them back close, slide yourself close to your ball again if you lost any of your leverage there. Elbows inside the knees one more time, hands in prayer. I want you to suck your middle abs back, little pressure in the ball. Your right knee is going to push your prayer left, opening left knee. Think of rolling to the inner arch of your right foot, the big toe side of the foot, and the outer arch of your left foot, pinky side of the foot. And then keep low belly sucking back into the ball. Bring your ribs to the right. So knees go left, ribs go right, okay, in opposite direction. You can roll that left shoulder forward a little bit, trying to get it inside the leg. Right knee is what's pushing left hip, left knee open. So left hip gets to stay passive in this stretch. Left low belly is pulling across to the right out of that hip. So run and hip stretch. Yeah. Bring it back to the center. Left knee pushes the right knee open by pushing into the prayer elbow. Prayer elbow staying one straight line is the conduit to open the right knee away. Lift outer left foot, keep the big toe down, lift inner right foot. Low belly sucks across into the ball first and then across to the left. Okay. The right shoulder head can roll a little forward. That helps you. Or you can roll with left shoulder to help open left ribs so you can bring ribs across further. They've got to be willing to open it. Keep your left side closed. They're not going anywhere. Okay. And then go back and forth through the middle. Try to move your ribs back and forth separate from your hips. Just a couple. Think of rolling the ball one way, knees the other. Movement getting bigger. Knee, outside knee pushing across. The leg that's getting stretched is pretty passive. And rolling the feet. Just trying to deepen that range of motion. Good. Come back to the middle. Now you're going to bring your hands to the floor. Toe heel the feet, or inch the feet forward a little bit. Hop your hips forward, so now you're on your tailbone. So before we were exclusively on sitting bones, tailbone couldn't even reach the ground. Now you're pretty much exclusively on tailbone. Sitting bones are off the ground, and the ball should be higher up your back. Yeah. It's good to go a little further. Good. Okay, and then you bring your feet forward a little. You'll see how far when you go into your stretch. Keep heels as wide as toes. Feet wider than your mat if you can. Okay. We'll start with the left knee. Start dropping your left knee in and down. Your knee should cross your midline. So if going wider than your mat made it so that your knee wouldn't cross the midline, you need to come back. Now don't drop the knee too far yet. Instead, start rolling your ribs to the left, rolling your ball left. Bring your left hand wide on the mat and a little back. And then roll left shoulder forward. Lean into that left hand. You're trying to bring your ribs around. At the same time, drop the knee forward and let your hip go away from your ribs. This is where you want to feel an opening. You'll feel a stretch in the inner knee too. Push with the right foot a little bit to keep your pelvic bowl this down. So if this pull starts lifting your pelvic bowl up, you're not going to get the same stretch. We want you to stay a little rounded in this stretch. Middle abs sucking down and then wrapping around. Bring your right hand to the head, elbow in your peripheral vision, chin in. Think of your hand as pulling your spine long to round you up and over, forward. So a little twist. Breathe. Keep low belly drawing out of the front of that left knee. Let's lift the knee up, feel the hip come back toward ribs, and then let your knee softly drop down. Let your hip go away from ribs. Lift the outer foot, pinky side of the foot open. Drop the head forward more. Middle abs pushing in, right foot pushing a little bit to help you keep the pelvic bowl dropped. Good. Roll your left shoulder forward. Lean into your left hand. See if you can cross the right leg over left if you want to go deeper. Pulling that hip further forward. At the same time, you're dropping back into your left side. You should feel that stretch through the ribs, through the psoas, through the groin, maybe the serratorius pulling long. If crossing the foot over is too much, go back to foot to the floor. And bring it back up. Come back to the middle. Everything should pretty much even right up again. Let's drop the right knee forward and down. Lifting the outer right foot. Roll your ball to the right. Really lean into your right hand. Right hand goes wide and a little back. Roll the right shoulder forward. Ribs, think of wrapping around underneath you. Our right ribs really open and drop back. That's why the right shoulder's forward. Slide that shoulder blade up the back a little. Left elbow's also forward. Chin in, rounding as you twist. Left foot can help push the mat away a little to keep low belly sucking to support bringing pelvic bowl back. That'll pop me up a little. That's your opposition. Once you find that low belly middle abs, softly let the knee drop forward, keeping ribs anchored back. Feel those two coming apart. Okay, that head dropping forward should help you drop the ribs back. Okay. Again, you will feel a stretch in the inner knee. You are supposed to stretch ligaments and tendons in the knee to some extent. If you want to go deeper, you can cross your left leg over the right to put a little extra weight in the stretch. Left leg's got to release there. If you have to put your left hand on the ground to lift up the left leg, you haven't leaned far enough across to the right. Your weight should be in your right hand. That's the only way you can pull ribs away from hip. Okay, one more breath here. As you exhale, soften your hip. Low belly sucks down and back. Very softly reach your left shoulder blade forward. Maybe you can reach your arm across the body. Bring it back up. Uncross your leg first. Roll it back up. Good. You feel the hips there. Cross through the psoas. Okay. All right. Let's bring hips back to the ball again, or just bring the ball back to you. It's easier. Again, get that little bit of skin in your low back exposed. So you're going to stick to the ball, and then let's grab your strap. Actually, probably before you set up here, get your strap close. So you'll be able to reach it. Get your purple balls close. So you'll be able to reach them. And I'm going to pull this. Pull it on the net. So let's stay in the picture here. All right, so you're going to do the same thing we started with. Feet close, hips almost under the ground of the ball. So you're really in there. Now you're on sitting bones. Tailbone cannot touch the ground. Now you have to round to get tailbone to the ground, and the ball is pushing you forward. You're almost trying to get your hips under the ball, following the curve of the ball. So the ball is supporting a natural curve in your lumbar spine. Keep the feet in close. So you're really lodged in there. So then we're going to grab your strap. Okay, drape it over the legs to start. Okay. All right. You're going to hold your strap pretty wide. If you hold it too wide, there's no tension and it's not going to help you. If you hold it too narrow, you're never going to make it through the stretch we're about to do. So you're going to try. You're going to have to test how far apart you're going to hold it. Most people, to start, I just have them hold a little wider than the mat. It's a little less than double shoulder width, unless you have a really small upper body. I don't know. Something like that. And then keep the thumb on the inside, so you're just holding it in the crease between the thumb and the index finger. Fingers are long, straight, and forward. Okay, I want you to bring the arms down, rest them on the knees for a minute. Little pressure in the feet, like you're going to push the mat forward, just soft though. Don't try to push the mat away from you, just support the hips a little. Then suck your low belly back. All you're doing is the little bit of pressure in the feet helps you pull low belly away from that boundary. That's all it is. Don't push harder, your quads will engage too much. Okay, keeping low belly lifted. Slide your shoulder blades forward. If your belly's anchoring back, your ribs should stay back, so your shoulder blades can slide off the back. Yep. Now just slide them back. Lean into your ball. Good. Slide shoulder blades forward. Belly stabilizes ribs back. Feet help with that. And then slide shoulder blades back. Do it again. Slide shoulder blades forward. Slide shoulder blades back. Now inner spiral your arms, which means the eye of your elbow here is going to roll in. Biceps roll in toward each other, outer hand or palm facing out. Keep the low belly, keep a little bit of pressure in feet just off. Slide shoulder blades forward. Now pick up the collarbone area. So you're going to pick up the shoulders, not from neck, but from the pecs, which do attach to your collarbone. Okay? Keep that space, low belly lifted. You're going to keep your low belly, bring the arms up, lifting collarbone too. Shin in, head forward. Lay back enough to open ribs, but keep low belly. Keep pressure in feet. Open chest, really reaching back past your ball. You're going to roll all the way through the shoulder joint. If you can't make that happen, you're probably holding too narrow on your strap. Once hands are back, we're going to roll shoulders forward. You got to pull out on the strap a little, do it. Pressure in feet, suck the belly in, and then roll shoulders back. Let ribs open, but keep low belly lifted. Open chest, bring it back up. So you're rolling all the way through your shoulder joint here. How we doing? Got it? If it was easy, inch in on each side, literally an inch. It's hard or fast. Okay, if you had to make weird adjustments to get through your shoulder joints, you're too narrow. Widen it. Okay, you need to be able to roll directly through your joint. Here we go. Little pressure in feet, little lift and suction in low belly, middle abs, transverse abs. Slide shoulder blades forward. Feel your pecs start to fold collarbone in half. Inner spiral arms. Lift the shoulder blades. Lift your collarbone, chin in. Lay the ribs back. Let ribs open, but keep low belly lifted. Pressure in feet. Reach back through thumb and pinky, opening the chest. Once you're all the way back, roll shoulders forward. Abs suck back. There you go, all the way forward. Get those shoulder heads forward. There it is. Roll shoulder back. Ribs open, pressure in feet. Lift low belly. The low belly is what helps bring it all the way back forward. We getting this? Yeah. Okay, if you can't roll through your joint, bring your hands back as far as you can and bend at the elbow, and that's it. That's your stretch. If you can roll through your joint, you're going to roll all the way back each time. If it's still easy, choke in. It'll get hard. Okay, little pressure in the feet, suck and lift low belly, spread your shoulder blades off the back, inner spiral arms, palms face out, pecs engaged to lift the collarbone in front of ribs. And then bring it up, chin stays in. Don't let your head drop back. You gotta keep the head out of the way so shoulder blades can come together back there. Reach the arms back, let ribs open. Lay over your ball, keep low belly lifted, little pressure in feet. Good, keeping ribs open. See if you can roll back, slide hands away. Bring hips right back to the floor, as close to your ball as you can. Low belly lifts, bring it back up. Good job. Feel the stretch in the shoulder, across the chest. Okay, let's do this again. Low pressure in feet, low belly lifts, reach shoulder blades forward, bring it up and back. Roll all the way through the joint, really reaching. And then roll back up just until you come back to the front of the joint, and then bring right arm to the right, left arm behind your head if you can. Right arm all the way to the floor, leaning into the right hand. Chin in. Bring it back, lay over your ball, bring your left arm to the floor. Right arm behind your head if you can. Pressure in your left hand, bring left shoulder blade down, ribs go right a little bit. Bring it back up and over. Opening left ribs, right hand to the floor. Pressure in right hand, right shoulder down, ribs go left a little, which means they open and balloon out on the left. And then roll through. Go all the way through. Left hand to the mat, right arm forward. Really spread that right shoulder blade off the back. Open your back ribs as you come forward. Open your left ribs as you go right. Laying over ball. Open your right ribs as you go left. Reach. And then come forward. Let's go the other way. Left hand to the mat, open right ribs. You can put your left hand down and put pressure there. And then laying over ball, keeping chin in, open front ribs. Open the left ribs. And come forward, one more. Open right ribs as you go left. Use your core, open front ribs. Use your feet, low belly. Open left ribs. Keep that pressure in feet coming forward. Okay. All right, let's get rid of your straps. You should feel core, hips, kind of full body. Grab purple balls. If you are not sure about the weight, grab one purple ball. The weight is going to stretch you. So if you're not super flexible, less weight. It's not about resistance training. It's about stretching.
You can get me bigger balls.
Say it again.
You can get me bigger balls.
You want a bigger stretch? Or you just need to hold on harder to separate
Because I'm so flexible.
fibers muscle. All right, keep elbows in a little bit. Let the balls help drop the shoulders down, chin in. Enough pressure in the feet to come back over your ball. Keep hips released, let your head drop so your head is supported. As soon as your head can drop, don't roll real far back yet. Push your ball or balls straight up to the ceiling. They should be sitting in the palm of the hand and fingers on the sides of the ball or ball. So if it's one ball, it's like this. If it's two balls, it's here. It doesn't have to be balls. It can be anything that has a little bit of weight. These are 2-pound balls. Okay? Then you're going to soft bend in your elbows. Elbows hug in a little, not a lot. And then let your whole upper arm, or your whole forearm drop back, balls toward the mat. Let your hips drop forward at the same time. If your balls can touch, you can roll further back. Straighten legs out. Okay, my ball could be a little more inflated. Give me a bigger stretch. Okay. You let your legs totally release. Ball supporting hips, no tucking. And then you're going to slowly come forward. Start bending knees. Let's turn toes out to the sides to help open front hips more. Low belly can draw just a touch, not very much. And if that engages your low back, forget about it. Start sliding forward. Balls can slide along the mat if they're touching. Otherwise, they just hang. Your elbows can bend a little, but don't let them bend a lot. The elbows pull up, it kills the stretch. You're trying to let that weight bring the balls or bring your upper arm back even with your head. Come down and try to sit all the way to your hips. Good. Don't bring your head up. That'll hurt your neck right here. Let's do it again. Push through the feet to roll back. This time when you get about halfway back, pull your balls up from the serratus, the intercostals, the muscles on the sides here, and your low belly. Okay, try to coordinate, dropping hips forward, and then dropping balls back. Pelvic, or pubic bone draping to floor as arms drape to floor. The whole spine draping over the ball. Do it again. Soft pressure in your feet to roll back. And once you get right on top of the ball, pull with the serratus, the muscles underneath the armpits, the middle abs, low belly to bring the balls up. Let your head hang, cervical spine hang. And then start bending knees, open toes. Heels reach forward even on the mat a little bit. And drop your purple balls or your whatever you're holding. It could be blocking your hands at the same time. So you feel like the Balls are hanging, arms, hips are hanging forward. Last one, roll back a little bit, pulling balls up forward, neck should hang, hips should hang, let the feet release, everything release, and then drop it back down. Let your hips come all the way to the mat. Good. Now we're going to push back about halfway. Either drop the ball if you only have one, or if you have two, you can hold onto it, bringing arms out to the side, using the balls to help you stretch the chest. Arms come back up. Good, and bring your hips back to the floor. Good, if you have balls, drop them, and then bring your arms up. Hands to your head, bring your head back up. Hands stay behind the head, feet turn in, and if they're really far forward, walk them back. Okay. And then we're going to round. Chin into your own chest, neck staying long and back. And then middle abs pull back, rounding forward over that point. Let your head drop forward. See if you can get a little bit deeper into this back stretch here. Shoulders sliding forward. Low belly very softly lifting out of the front of the hips. Inhale. Before you exhale, softly squeeze the knees in on the upper body, and then low belly, middle abs pull back away from front body, so your back body can come up and over that more. Shoulders sliding up to open side ribs. Let the head hang. Air leaking out. Now roll to outer foot, try to open knees. See if you can keep a little lift in low belly, keep elbows reaching forward. And then push your feet roll all the way up. Good. Good. Heel toe the feet in. Soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. Good. Open your toes. Good. And then hands to the calves or the knees, whatever you can reach, or the thighs. Let's do fingers facing in. And you're going to press forward on the hips, press forward on the legs. Suck your low belly up and back. Try to straighten arms, lifting shoulders a little, and make space in your core. Good. Feel that room in low belly. Good. Now middle abs pull back into the space you just made. Shoulders roll forward, elbows forward, and try to round. If you have a lot of flexibility, you'll come off your ball pretty easily. Keep coming forward like that. Try to get elbows and shoulders forward, toes open. Good. Low belly sucking back. Good. And then to come up, little pressure in your hands like you're pulling your own low belly back, pulling your own hips back. Low belly sucks up, shoulders and elbows stay forward, middle abs pulling to roll you up. And then lengthen at the top by lifting from the core. Good. Let's do it again. Low belly pulls back into your ball if it's still there. Shoulders forward, elbows forward, anchor at the hips. Think of pushing your hands back to lift shoulders forward. Low belly ribs get long as you come forward, and then come on down, dropping head, neck, chest. If you're real flexible, try to roll shoulders toward the ground. So bring it back up, little pressure in feet, low belly pulls, knees pull open, middle abs then suck, and roll all the way up. Good. Let's bring the feet back in, close the knees. Down, bring your legs forward. You can move the ball aside for a minute. And grab your strap again. That's good. Right? Yeah. On a spine flexibility. Yeah. Feels good. Alright. Cover your skin exposed and low back if you want, because now you're going to lay back on your mat. You don't necessarily want that to stick. Although you may know when your back touches the ground if it does. Alright, to start, let's open your sitting bones. Spread them apart manually if you have to. Sitting bones, little bones, the base of the buttocks. Okay, and then hold pretty far forward on your strap. These straps are real strong. You should have a maximum strength strap. We're not using it for resistance training. We're going to lean back and it's supposed to hold up your body weight. Okay, so that's what it's for. Get the pinky side of the hand tight on your straps. You're really holding with the muscle on the pinky side of the hand instead of the thumb. You're going to feel your hands work in this. Okay, to start, let's lift your low belly. And then come forward, elbows hug in a little bit. Think of rolling shoulders back to pull your ribs further forward on the thighs. So pretty flat back to come forward. Okay, open heels a little bit. Think of inner spiraling legs, big toes touching, and then lengthen your spine by low belly pulling. Think of your sitting bones pushing that backwards. Back muscles, shoulder blades lax, back, ribs open, but low belly lifting. There you go. Feel that length in the low back and lumbar spine. Good. Now let yourself round. Drop your head. Suck your low belly back. Reach your heels forward. Let your shoulder blades slide off the back. Now go to the other leg, pull shoulder blades back, ribs come forward, through, pulling back, rolling back, low belly lifts. Think of soft bending in the knees to help you get a little more room in the hips. Good, go the other leg, suck your low belly back, drop your head forward, shoulders slide forward. Good, and then you're gonna start rounding back that way. Walk the sitting bones back a little bit so that they can roll under you more. So one hip at a time kind of walks back. Good, now tailbone sitting bones should be under, they're still open. Low belly drawing back, spread out your toes. Hands are holding, pull. You're about this far back. Now pull your shoulder blades together on the back. Low belly sucks back more. And then release shoulder blades apart. Don't pull with upper back. Do it again. Shoulder blades come together, hold. Now low belly should be able to suck back deeper. And then let the upper body release. Ribs drop back. Good. Okay, start going back a little further, low belly leading. Don't pull with upper back. If you have to keep shoulder blades a millimeter together, keep shoulder blades a millimeter together. You'll feel your low belly more. You also put a soft bend in your knees. Disengaging quads, hip flexors, so you can pull low belly out of that. Come all the way back till your low back touches down. Take your time getting there. Inner spiral, your arms back to the hands face in, biceps facing in. Then you can suck low belly even deeper. Okay. Once you're there, try to lay it all the way back. Open chest and shoulders. Get my purple balls in the way. Oh, there. Rolling shoulders back. Outer spiral, arms, shoulder blades pushing to the mat. Or pushing to the mat to lift ribs a little, but keep low belly. Keep heels reaching, soft bend in knees. Then roll the shoulder blades forward. Roll the back of the hands toward each other, and hands are on top of legs. Then chin to chest. Keep that outer arm reaching in like you're trying to close the biceps into each other on top of your chest. Head should be up. Low belly pulling in, soft bend in knees. Start rolling up really slow. Feel your core pulled down. Your back has to stay totally released. Chin is in, head is resting. Good. Feet should not pop up. Low belly drawing back. Bend knees more. There you go. Okay. Then when you're all the way up, low belly lifts you. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Turn till palms face ceiling. Shoulders roll back. Pull forward into your stretch neck. Good. Long ribs, long low belly. And then bring it back up. Okay, pull your right sitting bone back on your mat. Actually, pick it up and pull it back further than the left. So your feet will stagger. Left groin, left sitting bone forward, right sitting bone back. And then come forward into that stretch. Let your right shoulder head roll forward, maybe even further than the left. Good. So you should feel a lot of opening in the back of the right hip and low back. Drop your head and neck. Breathe. Keep your right pinky toe out to the side, into your strap a little bit. And then low belly and roll it back up. Let's even up the feet and switch. Left sitting bone pulls back on the mat. Right sitting bone is forward, so your feet will actually be staggered as much as your hips are. The bigger your hip stretch, the more the feet stagger. Come forward over that. Think of your left shoulder coming forward more and your right shoulder dropping back a little bit. Let your head legitimately hang, low belly lifting. Left pinky toe is into your strap just a little bit. The more the left shoulder comes forward, the more you're going to spread the lat, because lat attaches from lumbar spine into upper arm. So as that shoulder comes forward, it's going to spread out the back muscles. And then roll it back up. Let's play with some coordination here. Even up your feet. Sitting bones under. Yeah. Okay. So now you're going to start sucking low belly and round back just a touch, so you feel your tailbone is touching the mat. Okay, so that's not very far. Sitting bones, tailbone. Right? Pelvic bowl goes back. And you put a little bit of your weight into your strap, not much. And then I want you to pull your right low belly back, right sitting bone back, left sitting bone forward, staggering your hips. Okay. And then switch. Left low belly back, left sitting bone back. Okay. And then switch to right and pull. Now right shoulder pulls back, left shoulder blade spreads forward off the back, suck the middle abs back to twist. Middle abs really cutting across. Okay. And then come back to center, switch. Left heel back, because left low belly is pulling back. Pelvic bowl has to be back. Right groin forward. Left shoulder blade pulls back. Right shoulder blade gets pulled forward. You can even inner spiral right arm, suck your low belly across to the left. Ribs go a little left. So your left back ribs should be open. And then switch. Right low belly back, right shoulder back, left shoulder blade forward. Middle abs coming across to the right. You're going to lean a little right with your ribs. And then switch. Now just go back and forth between those slowly, just adding your little twist in there. Take your ribs toward the side of the low belly that's pulling back. So when right hip is back, ribs go right. When left hip is back, ribs go left as you twist. Good. So there's a little slide in the rib cage horizontally across toward the twisting side. Good. Now add going back like that. You should have really separated your rib cage from your pelvis, which is what you have to do to start rounding back. Low back touching down. When it does touch, you're just going to hold there in the middle. Good job. Hold. Inner spiral arms. Chin in. Middle abs draw back. Soft bend in the knees. Let your hips release. Let your glutes release. And then roll the rest of the way back. Shoulders rolling back to lift the ribs up. Outer spiral arms so biceps face out. Low belly still pulls. And then roll shoulder. Let's inhale here. And then as you exhale, roll shoulders forward, ribs dropping. Back of the hands face in on top of the legs. Chin to the chest. Think of your biceps as trying to close in toward each other. It should be on top of the legs more. There we go. Suck the middle abs down. Don't close ribs hard. Don't soft bend your knees, spread toes, spread heels. Okay, start coming up with that little bend in your knees. Feel middle abs. Keep rounding the upper back by dropping the chin in, middle abs pulling back. Yeah, better. As you come up, low belly lifts. Open your sitting bones apart. Pull back with the elbows softly. Shoulders rolling back. Drop the head. Or sorry, don't drop the head. Collarbone coming forward. Good. You can bend these as much as you need to. Good. And then let yourself round down. Release. Good. Bring it back up. Slowly let go of your strap and see what your hands have been doing all the time.
Been working.
They have been working a
I
lot.
think they're dead.
They're dead.
They're
But not
frozen.
some is out of them. That's it. All right, they're frozen. Yeah, let's turn the hands backward and just very softly bend your fingers backwards on your mat. So pretty far out in front. Pretty far out in front. Yeah, so, and don't lift shoulders to do it. Just let your hands drop. Fingers catch the mat by about the knees, and then just roll fingers back and lean into that. Okay, let your fingers bend back. Elbows should be bent toward the ground, like you're bringing your forearm parallel to the floor. Good. With a little pressure into the hand stretch. How are we doing? Okay, see if you can roll a little further down through the hand. Good. And then roll back. Incidentally, that hand strength is really nice for climbing up the slopes. Do it again. Roll forward through the hands. It also just strengthens the hand in general. And then roll all the way back. Good. Let's counter move the hands. Push into knuckles. Okay, let's have the fingers face in for now. Bend the knees, bring your feet flat. Good. And see if you can actually, let's have the fingers face you. Let's do it with straight wrist with fingers facing you. Don't let your wrist bend back. It's actually pretty hard to do that here. Keep your palms forward if anything. Try not to break the wrist at all. Try to keep it straight. Okay. We're going to roll shoulder heads forward, shin in. Bend your elbows back a little bit. Elbows should be right over hands. Good. Keep a little pressure in your elbows. Press into feet, low belly in. See if you can lift your hips up, knees forward. And then roll your shoulders back. You can straighten arms, but don't hyperextend elbows. Open your chest. Then roll your shoulders forward, chin in, suck your middle abs back, release your glutes, knees in, and slowly bring it down, rounding, and bend the elbows again. Okay. How are we doing? One more? Okay, bring hips to heels a little further this time. Okay, open chest to begin with if you can. Low belly then pulls tail under. Feet press to pull tail under, but keep chest open. So those don't go together. Your shoulder blades are coming under the ribs to open your ribs up, which makes your pelvic bowl want to go forward. But you don't get to do that. You have to pull pelvic bowl back, which is the position you're going to keep in the air. Now when you come up, low belly draws, your knees come into each other and forward. Your shoulder blades are what pick your ribs up. Bend the elbows if you feel like you need to get your shoulder blades together under the ribs. Release your glutes. And roll shoulders forward, ribs get to drop back. Now low belly should easily be able to come down from all the way down. Good. And then come to hands again. Good. Bend your elbows back. Elbows are going to try to pass wrists to stretch hands. Then you may even let base and hand lift and come to the fingers and hand stretch. Good. really straighten your arms. Good, let's grab your blocks. 2 blocks. Blocks wide on your mat, all the way to the edge. And then sitting in front of the blocks, fingers facing forward.
My balls are going places.
My ball's coming to visit you. Your ball's running around all over the place. All right, so fingers facing forward. Try to get the pinky on the inside or the outside edge of the block, thumb on the inside. So you're really spreading the metacarpals in the hand, the little bones in the hand across your blocks. A little bit of pressure in your hands. Feet come close to hips. Keep hands pressing a little bit, and then tailbone under, bringing hips to heels. The further forward, hips have to be further forward. There we go. Your shoulders have to be in front of your hands. Shoulders can't pass hands for this. And roll the shoulders forward, bend your elbows back. A little bit of soft pressure in the feet, not like you're pushing the mat down, but like you're going to slide it forward. Will help you tip tailbone under and pelvic bowl back. Okay, let's make sure the hips are really free. Keep the pressure in the hands so you don't sink into neck. And then roll forward by staying heavy in the tailbone. And then suck middle abs back to roll, pelvic roll back. Do that again. Try not to move the shoulders forward back. Roll forward in the hips. Middle abs are still engaged. Little pressure in feet. Roll to inner feet action. And then middle abs pull the hips back. The more the hips come back, the more the ribs can come back, which is where you get your shoulder stretch. Elbows widen. Just spread the shoulder blades and upper back out. And then shin in. Little pressure in feet, little low belly pulling should help ribs drop back between the shoulder blades. Good. If you're on the shoulder stretch, upper back stretch.
Are we heading toward the outside of the hand, pinky side? Is that okay?
That's okay for now. All right, let's go ahead and press into the hands now. I want you to use thumb and pinky evenly. Press into your hands to start straightening the arms. The base of the hand will lift. If you keep your shoulder heads really forward and down, you're going to get a deeper stretch in the hand. The base of the hand should eventually lift up. Up. Then roll on sitting bones separately. All the way to the sitting bones, middle abs drawing. Then roll shoulder blades behind ribs. You should feel a pretty big stretch in hands, more over the shoulders. Good. Then roll shoulders forward, belly back, hips back, pelvic roll back, chin in. Then bend your elbows back, hands go like they're grabbing your blocks, pulling blocks forward to bring your ribs back, elbows wider. There we go. Opening the back, shoulders really forward. Okay, do it again. Pressing into the hands. Keep your low belly back. Once you're all the way up, then you're going to roll onto the sitting bones. Separately, shoulder blades roll under the ribs. Squeeze shoulder blades together, roll shoulders back. Middle abs help lift your ribs up. Good. And then shoulder heads forward, low belly, middle abs pulling back. Bend the elbows back to pull the ribs back out of the hips. How are we doing? Yeah, you could be a little further forward. All right, let's take the ribs over to the right. Bring your knees across to the left. Good. If you want to go further with this twist, keep pushing to the left hand, cross left ankle halfway down right shin, and find your twist. Your right hip goes to right heel, ribs going back and right shoulder, right elbow back. And then across the leg right up. Let's go the other way, move ribs to the left. Right arm may straighten, knees going right. Low belly helping to draw the ribs out of the hip. You can cross right ankle halfway down your left shin and pull that knee across a little further. At the same time, you're pushing with right hand, rolling left shoulder back, left elbow back to open ribs. Think of your left hip coming to your left heel a little. Then bring it back and crossing the right. Push into the hands to come up. Bend the fingers back and take some weight out of it. And then come all the way forward. Turn your hands around, drop the base of the hand off the front of your blocks. Stretching the hand a little bit. Good. You can bend the elbows there. Good. Bring your hands flat. Come on to knuckles, straight wrists. Good. And roll shoulder heads forward, drop the head. Keeping the head dropped, roll shoulders back. Roll forward, just give the hands a break, and roll shoulders back. Good. Rolling forward. Okay, let's go ahead and put your hands back and the locks, fingers facing back. Pinky on the inside, thumb on the outside. Put a bend in your elbows, feet come close to hips. Keeping a bend in elbows, pressure in hands, hips to heels more. Good. And then feet back forward again so your hips have room to move. Again, shoulder heads are forward. They're not just forward, they're also down, which keeps the neck longer. There's some pressure in the thumb side of the hand to keep your neck longer, to keep your upper body engaged. If you sink too much into the neck, you're not going to feel it. You'll still feel a little shoulder stretch, but you're going to crunch your neck. So shoulders have to be forward and down so the neck can grow long out of that. Keep the pressure in the thumb side of the hand constant, not pushing away, just keeping you supported. Middle abs suck back to bring pelvic bowl back. And see if you can just roll heavy on the hips. Feel like your feet are pulling the mat to you to roll forward. You feel like your feet are very softly pushing the mat away to roll back. Ball of the feet as much as heels. Do it again. Just make sure hips can move freely. Upper body is not locked, but it's pretty still. Middle abs pulling back. Good. Now bend your elbows. See if you can sit further back, keeping shoulder heads forward and down. Elbows going wider. Lots of pressure in the thumb side of the hand, the base of the thumb, right where it meets close to the wrist. Bring your ribs over to the right. Maybe even straightening left arm. You go so far right. Really get on top of the right thumb. Right elbow wide. And then see if you can take the knees across to the left. Again, crossing left ankle halfway down right shin. Keep that left hand pushing, right hip to right heel. And then across. Bring it back up, ribs go left. Right shoulder head rolling forward, left elbow, left shoulder, really reaching back and left. Knees go across and right. You should almost end up with a line from the knee to the shoulder, a diagonal line across your center. Okay, you can add the right leg crossing halfway down the left to pull that line open more. Left shoulder rolling back a little to open left ribs away from that left hip. Keep a little round in your core. Line cross, taking weight off, bring it back. Good. Roll your shoulders back while you're down here. Chin stays in, neck long. And then roll your shoulders forward. Do it again. Chin in, roll shoulders back and together. Elbows may hug in. And then roll shoulders forward and down. Good. Push into your hands to straighten arms. Roll all the way to the front of the sitting bones. Roll your shoulders back. Bring shoulder blades together behind the ribs. Maybe you can outer spiral arms and bend them toward each other. Middle abs help pick ribs up. And then roll shoulders up and forward. Middle abs pulling back. Chin in. Bend your elbows. Try to sit deep with ribs. Little pressure in feet helps keep pelvic bowl back. And you're trying to open the back more. Elbows wider, weighted thumb side of the hand. Breathe. As you exhale, try to feel the upper back muscles spreading apart more, letting your ribs drop back between them. Back ribs are open. Good. Last one like this. Press through the hands till arms are straight. Once arms are straight, slide your shoulder blades down sides of the ribs. Neck gets longer. Top of the head forward. Then roll heavy on your sitting bones all the way to the front of the hips. Roll shoulder blades back to pick your ribs up. Outer spiraling arms, so biceps face out. Maybe elbows can bend in if you can get high enough. Middle abs up. And then roll shoulders up and forward. Chin down. Elbows bending back. Low belly drawing back. And a little bit of pressure with feet will help deepen your stretch. Good. And bring it all the way up. Hands to the mat. I know we're super done with hands. That's how we're doing hands today. Okay? Bend the fingers. Put a little pressure in the knuckles. Good. See if you can put your hands either sideways facing in, and then outer spiral arms, hug elbows in. Okay. So bend back, hug elbows toward each other, and then try to re-straighten like that. It's a different stretch in the hands and wrists. You almost have it roll shoulders back. Good. That back of the hand will be fully on the mat if you want to get this stretch. Yeah. You can do one at a time if it's easier. Okay, so if you're going to do one at a time, it's back of the hand down. Start with elbow bent. Hug your elbow in towards your midline. Then roll your shoulder up and back and see if you can straighten arm with inner elbow facing out. Okay. And then roll it back forward and down. Flip the hand. Other hand, back of the hand on the mat, palm facing up, open from thumb to pinky. Elbow hugs in, shoulder rolls up and back, outer spiral. So these stretches are important for hands, wrists, all the way up to neck. Rebend, roll forward, then come out of the stretch. Good. Let's go ahead and just interlace fingers and flip them over. Drop your head. Good. And just open and close hands a few times. Good. All right, let's move your blocks out of the way. All right, and let's use a little bit of just opened up, hopefully. Roll over onto hands and knees. Hands flat on the mat. So open your, actually keep the knees closed for your first one. Turn hands so they're facing out. thumbs line up evenly with each other. Inner spiral arms. Bend your elbows out to the side and forward, drop your head. Bring your body weight forward into that thumb side of the hand and then re-straighten your arms, biceps hugging in, pushing down through the thumb side of the hand. Try to pick your ribs up higher, spreading the muscles across the upper back. Drop your head. Suck middle abs up, low belly up to drop tail under. Don't squeeze glutes and lift your low belly. Keep spreading upper back muscles. Good. Keep it this high. Go ahead and start sitting back like this. Low belly drawing. Pulling the middle abs back out of the ribs. Sit all the way back to child pose. Drop your head through your arms. Good. Bring it back up. Push through knees. Lift low belly coming forward. Drop hips back. Drop chest all the way down into your shoulder girdle. Good. And then one more like this. Inner spiral arms. Pressure into thumbs. Pick the ribs up. Lift middle abs up to drop tail under, lifting pelvic bowl. Think of lifting pelvic bowl more than dropping tail. Okay, let's go ahead and tuck the toes. Let's change it up a little bit. Push into the feet. Bring it back. Keep your ribs this far back out of the shoulder girdle. So lift hips. Come to down dog. Lift hips. Lift hips. Yep, there you go. Now push back. Ribs back. You can put a little bend in knees. Keep the ribs reaching back. Thumb side of the hand pushing that forward. Good. Try to reach your right heel toward the mat. Let your left knee and left hip hang. Turn right heel in a little bit. Keep your ribs back as far as you can press them out of the shoulder girdle. And then switch. Left heel a little in. Outer spiraling left leg a little. Let your right hip hang. And bring it back to center. Both inner feet touch. Come high onto your toes. Keep pressing ribs back toward the thighs. Good. And then drop both heels toward the mat. Keep ribs back toward thighs. Good. And then bend your knees toward the mat. Try to stay that far back with ribs. Ribs coming straight to thighs. Come straight out into your child pose. Good job. Drop your head, keeping toes tucked. Okay. Come back forward, pulling back on mat with hands lifting low belly. Good. And then hands walk a little further forward this time. Don't turn them out quite as far. So let's make index finger parallel, but keep that pinky metacarpal stuck to the mat. Okay, lift your ribs up out of the shoulder girdle. Sit back a little, hips reaching back. Good. That's not round this time, so try to keep tailbone back, but keep your ribs up out of shoulder girdle. Those two are hard to put together. Then push into your feet. Don't lose that distance you have. And bring your hips back and up. Good. Then drop your head down through your arms, chest reaching back toward the legs. You can put a soft bend in your knees if you need to. Reach the left heel to the mat, right knee dropping. Keep your ribs back to drop the heel down, sitting bone up. Switch. Right heel under the mat, left knee dropping, left hip dropping. Separate hips. Switch. Good. And switch. Okay, both heels reaching down, chest back. Bend your knees like you're going to bring knees toward the chest so you can come all the way down like that without coming forward. If you're going to plot, come forward. Don't hurt your knees. Good job, guys. And then sit back. Your sides should be feeling long here. Okay. And then keep your forehead into the mat. Hand joint where they are. Roll forward. See if you can lift the head, bring it back on the mat another inch or two so your head is behind your elbows. Keep rolling forward into your neck stretch. So you're going to roll all the way to the back of the head. Then notice if hips are tucked. Release that. Keep pressure in the big toes especially. Let your core be long. Shoulders lift up and back. Breathe. Let weight come down into your head. Slowly rolling all the way back. Keep the elbows that far out in front of you. You should feel long on your sides. If you don't, you need elbows and knees further along on the mat, further apart. And then come back forward, stay on elbows. Let's bring elbows about 2 inches apart. Hands into prayer. Keep the pinky long. Interlace the rest of your fingers. Keep your thumbs in parallel. So pinkies long, thumbs long. Okay? Elbows are about 2 inches apart and your elbows are way in front of your knees. Good. Okay, let's come forward over the arms. Drop your head down. Try to let your head touch your thumbs. Squish your own hands. Okay? Pushing down through elbows to pick up ribs. Low belly lifts to pick up the middle abs and to pick up your pelvic bowl. Then push through the elbows to bring your ribs up into the back of the shoulder girdle, opening the back. Good. Now low belly lifting. Start sitting back like that. Pinky side of the hand still sliding that forward, pushing away. Keep ribs dropping back out of the shoulder girdle. And then knees stay stuck to the mat. Your hips should be able to pass your knees so you've got some leverage to pull. The side body should get really long. Try to keep head drop down through arms. Okay, you feel stretching your sides, Sharon?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. If not, I was going to say your knees could be longer. All right, from here, bring your head up, look forward. Come forward just a little bit, pulling shoulders open, elbows pulling the mat apart. Keep pressuring elbows, keep toes tucked. Lift your hips straight up and back. Good job. Keeping the ribs back towards the legs. Head even with the arms now. Let your neck release, head dropping. Good. Drop your right heel toward the mat. Left hip releasing. I want you to press into your left elbow more and think of opening your ribs to the right. Twist. Okay, bring it back to the middle. Left heel dropping. Press through your right elbow more. Left sitting bone up and back. Open ribs left. You can even look under your left armpit. And bring it back to the center. Drop the ribs back. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. And then slowly lower the knees back to the mat. You start to feel that upper back bend there?
Yeah.
Drop the hips further back. Head through the arm. Try to put your forehead into the mat as far back on the mat as you can get it without moving elbows and knees. And start rolling forward, heavy on your head. Try not to tuck. If you can't keep your head into the mat, you need to open your elbows just a touch. Only enough to fit the head. Then roll further forward. Okay, let your weight come into your head. Think of shoulders squeezing together at the nape of the neck, and then spread them apart. Drop your pubic bone back, release the hip tuck, keep pressuring the big toe and the knees, that's it. And low belly split. Start to roll back again on your back. As far back as you can reach, hips reaching back, sides getting long. And then come forward. This time uninterlacing your spread the hands. Okay, keep the ribs up, back, push your feet to bring the hips up and back. Right heel comes toward the mat. You next step the foot forward. Let's bring the left leg up and back. Open up your hips. Keep ribs dropping back. Elbows pushing back forward. Okay, try to put that right heel toward the mat more. And then bring it back down. Left side, left, right leg up and back. Open up your hip, but keep the chest square to the ground. You have to in this shape. Keep ribs dropping back. You bend the left knee if you need to, but reach the heel to the mat at the same time. Chin in. And then drop it back down. Good. And come down. Sit all the way back. Good job. How are we doing? Good. All right, let's open the feet out to the sides and try to sit back again. Find a little stretch in the front of the hips. You'll feel it more if you drop the ribs down, pelvic roll down before you sit back. So not tucking tail under. Bring it back forward. Keep feet as wide as the mat. Open knees as wide as the mat. Now try to sit back. Okay, so really wide leg. The child pose meets hero pose. Bring your elbows back. Okay. Softly pressing that forward. Lift your low belly to bring pelvic bowl back. Let your hips try to drop down toward the mat. Just keep constant pressure in the hands. Hips don't have to touch, but the goal is to release. Okay, then go the other way. Shoulders and elbows pull, or sorry, not shoulders. Elbows pull back on the mat a little. Think of leaning forward. Shoulders should come over elbows and just a little pass. Okay, and then slide your shoulders forward, but keep your hips hanging back. So elbows are really a pivot point in the mat. Okay, and then drop your head, pick middle abs up. Little pressure in elbows, try to let your hips drop a little further to the mat. Okay, feeling that? Okay. Keeping the pressure in the elbows, let your core go. Inhale. Exhale, just lift low belly, not ribs. A little bit more pressure in elbows, let your hips drop toward the mat. Release your low belly. Good. And then pull back on the mat with the arms again. Hips try to stay back as the ribs go forward. You lean forward to get long in your core. Let's bring your left arm way out to the right corner of the mat. Right elbow under you. Pick your ribs up a little. And then release. One more. Push into the right elbow with ribs. And release. Okay, let's bring it all the way over to the right. See if you can put the right elbow into the right shin, left elbow into the right shin. Hands come into prayer, right elbow lifts. If you can't get them there, just both elbows into the shin is good. If you can get them there, you're going to use your prayer to twist and lift your ribs up. So you're twisting right. Left elbow into right shin. You need a block between the legs to elevate the hips, you can go there. If you're just going to be reaching, that's fine too. Bring it back across, let's go to the other side. Try to bring your elbows as far over to the left, first let's start here, yep. Right arm to the left front corner of the mat. So let's go back to the middle, set that one up the right way. Shoulders under elbows under the shoulders. Left elbow stays, right arm reaching across. Really get long through that right side. Right shoulder and armpit drop down a little bit. Push through your left elbow to pick your ribs up just a little. Keep the head dropped. Inhale. And then exhale, release. Maybe you can reach that hand a little further forward. Good. And so you can go further across to the left, bringing the knees all the way, or the elbows all the way to the left side of that knee. If you can get your right elbow to the left side of the knee, keep that elbow there, hands in prayer, and twist. If that's not going to happen, just keep trying to bring it across. And release, come back to the middle. Good. Hands between the legs, push into your hands to come up, walk it forward. So if that's too deep, you can always sit on a block, sit on 2 blocks until you're high enough so that the degree of flexion in the knee is less and hips too. Okay, let's tuck the toes, bring knees in. Bring your right foot forward. And 10 fingers, toe heel the right foot across. Top of the foot should end up trying to aim for your mat. And then bring your knee forward toward the hands to come down. So you're one straight line from knee to foot. Okay. You need a little longer stance to start right there. Good. Good. Now tuck the back toes and bring your back knee off the mat like you're in plank on the left side. Good. Hands right under shoulders. Let's inner spiral the arms. Push through hands to pick ribs up. So shoulder blades slide down to pick ribs up and shoulder girdle. Then low belly draws, push into your right knee too. Your back knee can bend a little, rounded. Okay. Then roll your left hip in toward your right, like you're trying to bring the left frontal hip to the right groin. And then reach back to the heel. Keeping left frontal hip to right groin. And come back forward. Re-square hips. Let's do that again. Drop the ribs down in the shoulder girdle. Drop your hips down. Try again, push into the hands, pick your ribs up into the shoulder girdle, suck the middle abs up, pelvic roll back, bring left hip toward right, and then reach back through your left heel like that, staying in that hip stretch. Good, nice feeling this? Bring it back forward, open it back up. Good. Okay, this time let's see if we can roll all the way over the top of the left toes, push into the hands, suck the belly up, drop the head, push into the knee too, drop left hip in here, open it back up, roll over the toes, bring it down. Okay, let's hop the right knee back if you lost it. Keep taking the left quad back as far as you can and then drop it to the mat, elbows to the ground. Okay. Let's stay over to the right first. Press through the elbows a little to pick your ribs up, but then let your core spill. Don't suck the core up. So sliding the shoulder blades down and ribs up is different than pulling with hips and core. Right, you're just going to isolate those two. So shoulder blades down, pressure and elbows, repeat core release. Inhale. As you exhale, just lift low belly a little. And then think of low belly leading as you shift left with ribs and upper body. Low belly pulling out of the front of that right hip. And bring it back to the middle. One more time. Go pressure through elbows. Right elbow contract the front of the right knee in place. That'll lift ribs up. Inhale. Low belly comes across. Good. Now keep your left elbow right under left shoulder, bring your right arm across to the left corner of the mat. Keep rolling left hip toward the mat. Press down through left elbow to bring ribs up a little. Try to keep right elbow on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, low belly draw out of the front of that right hip. Come forward and down with ribs. Good. If you want to go further, you can bring your elbows further across. Maybe even keep that right elbow into the right toes, follow the foot, and twist into prayer. If that's not going to happen, just try to keep elbows on the mat, going as far across to the left as you can. Right shoulder coming forward, pinning the foot back to the right. And bring it back up. Good. How are we done? Very nice. Hands to the mat. Good job, Mary. Tuck the toes, bring the knee forward, and then retuck. Come into plank on the left side. Lift your ribs up. Lift up that foot. Step back and see if you can just pedal it out. Just slowly putting some weight into that foot. Good. All right. Let's bring your left leg forward. Go ahead and just right away bring your left foot out to the right side of your mat. And then come forward by pushing the back toes. Then drop the knee down. A little different way to get into it. You can wiggle the right foot back if you need more room. Hands under shoulders. Hop your left knee back. That's the easier way to get this parallel. Keep the left foot straight. Don't let the foot sickle. Don't try to flex the foot. Try to keep one straight line from knee to big toe. Then your pinky toe can grab the mat there, but this should be a straight line. Hands under shoulders. Okay, wiggle back till you're in a little bit of a plank on the right side of the body. Palms turn out a touch. Fingers turn out a touch. Inner spiral arms.
So what stops the
What?
lower leg from being more parallel on?
Your hip. The more the foot comes forward, the more the hip is getting
more
rotated,
rotation.
and the bigger the stretch is. So it's your hip. So keep your weight in your hands, but then also keep enough weight in your left knee, right hip coming forward to keep that rotation. You feel that a little more? Don't back off of it too much. And then keep your toes straight, straight across. You're grabbing the mat with, there you go, that. Good. Okay, push down in hands, inner spiral arms, pick ribs up into shoulder roll. Drop the right hip forward a little bit, trying to think of bringing your right frontal hip into left groin. Think of inner spiraling the right leg, and then reach your right heel while you're there. That should deepen the stretch. Feel that? Because it's really deepening your rotation. Then come forward again, open it back up. Let's do it again. Drop the chest down, drop the head down, drop your hips down for a second. Inhale. As you exhale, pick it back up. Spread the shoulders. Let your core go a little bit so you can drop that right hip in. Good. And then reach the heel back. Wiggle your right foot back. Try to put your back quad down as far back on the mat as you can get it without opening your hips too far. And you're just sitting out of the stretch. The hips have to square forward. That's what causes the rotation to happen. So you ask, why does your foot want to live back here? It deepens the stretch the more forward it is. It also deepens the stretch the more this hip comes forward. Both of those deepen the rotation in the hip. Right? All right, elbows come down. You can have your left hip in the air here, if that's where your stretch lives. Or you can put your bolster sideways, long ways, all the way under the hip, like Mary had it a minute ago. All right. Wherever you're at, let's push down through elbows. So this toe's grabbing the mat, trying to keep the heel forward. Push down through elbows to pick your ribs up, but then let core go. Inhale. As you exhale, just barely lift low belly. Roll your right hip toward the mat. Lean to the right with the body. Left shoulder can even come forward a little bit away from your left hip, lengthening the back. So lean right. The other way.
Which means you're
That way. There you go.
there's just not much room there.
That is right.
Like petite, you know? Small movement.
Let your core release, let your ribs drop, let everything drop. Shoulder blades slide together on the back. Now when you push down through elbows, that's all it is. Don't let your hips help, don't let your core grab. Just slide shoulder blades. Keep head drop, keep belly drop, keep ribs drop. Inhale like that. Exhale, lift your low belly. And then come across to the right, low belly leading. You'll earn an extra 6 inches if your low belly actually leads it. Pulls out of the front of the hip. Left elbow can pin the knee back. Go ahead and bring your left hand across to the right. Left elbow should end up by right hand. Push down through right elbow now to pick ribs up. Try to keep left elbow down. That's going to expand your back more because your lat attaches to the back of the arm. So lifting it lets you open that. Drop it down as you push down through right elbow. Inhale. Exhale, low belly lifts. Keep right foot active. Lean forward and down into that right hip more. Good job. One more like that. Push through elbow. Inhale. Low belly draws. Bring it forward and down. Oh, yeah. You feel the difference? Mm-hmm. Good. Last one. Push through right elbow only. That's all that activates. And the foot. Keep the foot active. Inhale. Keep core loose. Exhale. Only low belly lifts. Do not close your ribs. and then come forward and down, ribs open. Good, and bring it back to hands. Oh no, we have one more. Come across. If you can bring your arm further across, maybe you can get so the ball of the foot makes a little flat shelf for your elbow. If not, just keep coming as far over as you can with elbows and keep leaning into the right. Elbows pulling back to bring you right. Yes, breathe. If you can get the elbow to the ball of the foot, you can come to prayer and start twisting, pinning the knee back as you bring the right hip toward the mat and right ribs open. Bring it back down. Hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes. Pushing the foot walk knee forward. Reach-tuck into your shorter plank. Push into your hands. Pick up the knee. Slowly putting weight into it. Pedal it out. How are we doing? Okay, and then come down with the knees. Open them wide. Toes are open, but still a little inside the knees. Not all the way in, but just a little in. Sit back. Hands forward. Sit back into a long, long, wide leg. Child's pose meets hero's pose. Gotta let your hips release. If your hips are in the air, it's okay. If you'd rather have a boundary to release into, you can sit on a block. Stay there for 2 breaths, and then we're gonna roll it onto your back. Good job, guys. All right, let's go ahead and grab your orange bolster before we go to corpse. Everybody likes doing everybody orange bolster first. Put your hips against it and lay back over it. Or you can come at it from the ground with it under your legs and then pick up the hips, pull it under you. Either way. But bring it up pretty high under your ribs. Almost done. Okay. Arms to the ceiling, shoulders wide, lift them and spread them, chin down, neck long. And then bring one leg in at a time. Arms inside the legs, hands under the heels, cupping heels. Pull down by bending elbow and pulling the bicep. Elbows push open out to the sides on the legs as well. And then open feet. Keep the feet turned out. Keep heels reaching up by pulling toes down. Let go of the right leg. Drop right leg forward, right arm back. Let your left knee come off the mat. Don't keep it too pinned. Okay? Elbow wide, shoulder head rolling forward. Reach through that right side. Okay, roll the right leg out to the right. Good. And then bring it all the way forward and down. Left knee pulling into the elbow. Reach through the right leg. And bring it back in. Switch. Hand comes under right heel. Keep that right leg pinned. Left leg comes out of it. Reach the left leg forward. Left arm back. Right heel gets heavy in your right hand. If I pull hard enough on this right side, it's going to pull the left leg up. That's your hip stretch, right? Keep the anchor in the right. Roll the right shoulder forward, elbow pushing into the knee. That'll bring ribs across a little to help open in here more. Or pressure in back of head and neck. Breathe. Some more breath. As you exhale on this one, bring your arm up. Let the ribs drop. You should not feel your low back. Good. Bring your left leg out to the side. Keep pulling into the right leg as you do. Outer spiral. Good. And then see if you can come back forward. Keep the right knee pulled into you. Think of helicoptering legs as you drop forward. Left arm goes back. One more time. And then bring it back. Good. Chin down, neck long. Open the feet. Release your low back. Toes don't have to touch the mat, but if they do, you can push your toes, straighten legs a little. All right, bring soles of the feet together. Hold just kneecaps. Let your knees drop forward into your hands. And all the way to the low body is in your hands. If I let go, my feet drop. Okay? Your elbows should be able to fit in the front of your bolster. That's how you know if you're in the right place. Okay, so holding knees. Let them drop in hands. Feet are totally relaxed. Shoulder blades get pulled down the rib cage, down the body because of the weight of the legs. Outer spiral arms, opening ribs, inhale. And then exhale, roll shoulders forward, let ribs drop. Let hips release a little more as ribs drop. Do it again. Inhale, roll shoulders back, outer spiral arms, inhale. And then exhale, let it drop. Good. And start bringing legs back in. All the way. time to the mat. Push your balls to the tip of the tailbone and just let your low back round and kind of hang out in that space there. Holding each kneecap, open knees, rest into your groin stretch. Feet should end up diagonally in if you're pulling knees open. Let's use your left hand to start pulling left knee open a little bit. When you get about halfway, almost to a straight arm, start sliding your floating ribs to the right. Suck your low belly across to the right and open your left foot so the shin is parallel to the mat. Really holding with left hand, left shoulder blade sliding down, right knee still across to the right. No big deal, just trying to feel low belly, little stretching out of here. As you come through center, start shifting ribs left, right foot hanging out to the right. The weight of this foot causes a little inner spiral, stretching out hip, and then ribs go across. Stretch, no big deal, just a little movement, not a big stretch. Or some people maybe switch. And bring it back. Good. Alright, push your bolster down. Calves on your bolster. Good. Now we'll just go with your corpse pose here, let the feet dangle. Palms facing the ceiling. Take a long but soft breath in. Hold the air in. Let's go ahead and stretch one more time. Reach the arms overhead. Spread fingers. Reach your heels. Get long. Exhale. Release everything. You can slide your arms out and down to wherever you like to leave them, or you can leave them up wherever you like to leave them for your corpse. It feels good today. Take one more breath in, long but really soft. As you exhale, let your eyes roll into the back of the head, in the middle of the forehead where the third eye lives. Soften the muscles in the face, the throat, neck, the head. Try to feel them spreading across the brow, across the bridge of the nose. I feel a little spreading across the base of the tongue, the jaw, and between the ears, the base of the skull. Ready, start deepening the breath again. Take a deep breath in, hold the air in. Open the fingers, spread the toes, reach the heels a little. And then exhale out. Inhaling again, this time let's sweep the arms overhead, spread fingers. Spread toes, reach heels away, but low belly anchors a little, let ribs open. Then as you exhale, close your hands into a fist, reach through the ball of the feet, then point toes, and roll all the way in with your feet. And then inhale, open everything up. Exhale, roll it all in. And release. And make your way to sitting either by bending knees, turning to one side, stacking ribs and hips, and coming up. Or if you'd rather roll underneath, take right, you can bring your nose up, chin to the chest. Roll up, let's just lay over your bolster for a minute. Good. Yeah. You want to finish with the nose? Either grab your bolster and sit on it so that your spine and core can be easily very long. Or you can sit flat on the mat. You can do so without your pelvic bowl really wanting to drop down. Okay? Or you can really solidly seat yourself into lotus. Okay, so inhale long but soft, let ribs expand. Start your Om with an ah sound, releasing jaw and facial muscles for the ooh, hold enough air left for to vibrate through the core.